Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. It's a short video just covering some of the points on the Bloom report. Really important that you listen, pay attention and understand the agenda against the Panth right now. So the Bloom report is one of the most recent reports done by the UK government faith advisor, Colin Bloom. But this is just part of the bigger picture where there's been other reports which have, over the last few years, have been put out in the public domain on government websites targeting Sikh activism and targeting Sikh activists specifically. So earlier this year, a Prevent review was put out, and this government Prevent scheme, this is the first time they've actually labelled Sikhs. They spoke about pro-Khalistan extremism and a collusion that a small minority that they're saying are speaking. Whereas as a Panth in the UK, we all clearly know that the collusion between India and UK regarding the case of Jagtar Singh Johar, the raids on the Sikh activists in the UK and West Midlands 3, you know, there's countless examples we can give of collusion. These are just recent ones I've given. If we wanted to go historically, we can give you so much data and facts that there's been countless collusion between India and UK. And the recent ones, they've stepped it up a bit, and this is due to Brexit and the trade deals that are going on. So the collusion that this government are talking about, they're trying to silence the Sikh community and push out certain agendas, and what they've got is their stooges within the community pushing their narrative. And really and clearly, we already know this because REIVEW, Redress, these high-level human rights orgs and the NGOs, what they've done, they've been working with the Free Jaggi Now campaign, and they've clearly stated that MI5 and MI6 have colluded. They're the ones who passed intelligence to Indian government, so the Indian authorities picked up Jagtar Singh Johar. The Bloom report is just the current report that they've done, and this is where they've gone in depth and they've put 13 pages, 12 to 13 pages specifically on Sikhs. So they've targeted us, they've used the stooges in their community to push narrative. Look, what kind of report has anonymous people? Like, how can that be factual? You know, like when we done a report, we did the race report, we gave facts, stats, and we gave clear data where we got it from. You know, they're using references that they've made themselves on websites and put in their own reports. Like, this is how much of an agenda is this? You know, what kind of stuff are they doing to target us? The extent they're going to target us. So what they do, this is called counter narratives. They put out narratives, they push them out on websites, through their journalists, through other social media, through websites, all sorts of different ways. They push this narrative out, then they reference that same narrative that they've put out. So, you know, it's a clear agenda to target the Sikh activists in the UK. There's a massive concern with the recent Bloom report, and because they've got certain points where they're pushing, and a lot of people ain't picked up on this. They've picked up and they pushed on MARYADA issues. They've picked up on our Sikhi Prachar. They've targeted our Gurdwara. They've targeted our Sikhi camps. They've said they're pushing massive counter narratives through the community with their stooges again. And these people have been pushing this agenda slowly off fake pages, off fake websites over the last few years. And now these anonymous quotes have been referenced in this report. Now you got to look at who's been pushing these agendas. We got to go to the core. Who are these gadars? Who are these sellouts that are pushing these agendas in the community? Why have they given the right for this government to target the Sikh Panth in the UK? Some of the examples that have been put in this Bloom report is the MARYADA issues. One was the ANAND-GROOMING, the interfaith ANAND-GROOMING, where so the interfaith ANAND-GROOMING and the MARYADA issues that they're talking about in the Bloom report, let's have a look at what they've got and what facts they've said they found that they put in this report, a government report to be put out to the Sangat. So one is the 55 arrests in Leamington. They've quoted that, they've profiled activists from that, and there was 2 who went to court for that who were found not guilty. So you're referencing people who were found not guilty in front of a jury in Crown Court. Second and third ones they used 2 examples, one from Birmingham, one from Coventry, and they said these profanities. They've said that these are examples where 2 houses were attacked because of the interfaith ANAND-GROOMING. There's no conviction, There's no ownership and there's no arrests of these. How do we know these are even linked to the actual interfaith and ANTI-GROOMING? So to reference these, Colin Bloom has made a massive blunder to make out that there's extremism going on in the community, where he's listening to third-hand information which is being published in reports to target Sikh activists. So another example they've given in the report is the grooming, and how the Bant and the UK Sikh activists talk about the targeting of Sikh females. Now, let's just be clear on this. It's only Pakistani Munde do it to white girls that they say, whereas they can't do it to Sikh females. They've been doing it to Sikh females for countless decades, and we've got so much evidence on this. So they're undermining our community, they're undermining our victims right now. So like, as a community, we will carry on being the voice for those, we will carry on being that, and what they're trying to do is suppress our voice who speak up for these families, for these victims. We have victims, we have secondary victims who are targeted because of this. And you know, we've sat with countless families on this, and we've done prachar of this up and down the country. We've given countless examples, documentaries, movies, and even exhibitions on this. We've even done a report which we've handed to the government on this, a detailed report with facts, with fact-based facts, with evidence which we've put in these reports and handed it in. And with the examples they're giving people with anonymous messages into their report. So it just shows their agenda and ours. One of the most concerning points in this Bloom report is where they've targeted the Sikhi prachar via the Sikh youth camps, and they've specifically said that people are getting brainwashed or they're teaching the wrong things in the camps. How can naming a camp after a shaheed be teaching the wrong thing? These people dedicated their lives for us to be here today, for us to be sovereign, for us to fight for our freedom, and teaching them about the sacrifices made for the community. How is that wrong? So, you know, like the examples they're giving, this is one of the key ones that people have completely missed, but they're actually setting a precedent to target the prachar that goes on in our Gurdwara now. So the final message I want to give regarding the Bloom report is that, look, in 2015, senior Sikh leadership sold out, they all sat with Modi, and that's the problem. He divided us from there. There's 5 different councils or bodies that think they represent the Sikh community, but you can only represent the Sikh community if you're on the ground, proactively supporting the Sangat, pushing the right Bantik narrative in the community and helping bring up the community, giving a hand up to help change the future generations of the Bant. You know, like, you can't be representing our tables if you have zero impact on the ground. You do not understand what the issues are on the ground. You do not know the dynamics and how people are getting converted. We're losing our dharma, we're losing countless sisters who are being targeted. Our brothers are getting caught up in gang culture. You know, we're losing so much on the ground. If you have no understanding of the ground reality in the UK, then, you know, how are you actually going to sit and do table talk and talk about our issues when you don't even understand the issues? Look at this report. It clearly, overwhelmingly shows that this government don't even understand our meaty concept. You know, it's massive point that everyone wants to talk about. We want Sikh representation, but you can't even talk about the meaty concept, which we are all born into. So, you know, there we go. Like, that's our final message. This government does not understand our culture, our dharma, our way of life. So the people, whoever they're listening to, these anonymous messages, are their people. They're their own people that are brought up, who have been rewarded with OBs, MBs and CBs, have been rewarded with financial donations from the government to speak their narrative and language in the community. Don't be oblivious to this. Please be vigilant on who these people are, and make sure you stick to the Bantik agenda. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.